This story begins where many others generally end. At the time, I worked for a detective agency known as HPD, but I couldn't know then what the acronym really meant. I don't think I ever really knew. For a few months, I'd been on the trail of the man the press not very originally renamed Blowtorch. A clue led me to the extreme outskirts of Miami, in a little out-of-the-way suburb that smelled like rotten fish.
Operator, the caller you have dialed is unavailable. Do you want to leave a message?
Bundy, knock it off. Judging from the traffic noise, I'd say you disobeyed my orders.
Hey, I just went out for a ride on my bike. What's the harm?
At 10 in the evening, I told you to stay home. The case is ours. We're already racing to the scene of the tip-off.
But the cavalry's already here, boss. Let me find one of those clues that Blowtorch left for me, and we will stop the next murder before you even divorce your third wife.
I'm on my fourth, Bundy, and I will never understand why that killer keeps leaving clues just for you.
Do you need to ask? Because I'm his archenemy, his nemesis, his worst nightmare.
More like he enjoys leaving you every time grasping a handful of air.
Oh yeah. Remind me again, old man. Who stopped the Puerto Rican surgeon and the arsonist of the southeast coast? And what about the...
All old news, Bundy. You haven't caught a break for a long time, and for months you've been following Blowtorch without any results. Why don't you go on holiday and let us do the work?
I'm in Miami, dude. Working here is a holiday.
I'm serious, Lars. Give it up.
Listen, boss. I will limit myself to a stealth approach. Identify the victim's flat. I write everything down. I smoke a cigarette. I admire the skyline. I wait for reinforcements. No shootout planned.
That would be difficult, since you never carry a gun with you.
Well, once a chick told me that the weapon at my side makes me clumsy.
Don't cause any shit, Bundy. We'll be there in a short while.
Okay. That means I have a short while to solve this case.
What did you say?
Nothing.
Bundy, don't screw things up, or I swear...
At previous crime scenes, we always found a letter addressed to me, abandoned in the mailboxes. This time, maybe, I would be able to find that letter before the crime was committed. But I had to hurry. A horrible antique coin eater. Maybe there was still something useful in Green Dart's flask. Normally I would have filled it with scotch, but I didn't want to find myself in Orlando investigating a red whale again. Like last time. Hey, there really was some scotch after all. Scotch tape, I mean. The alley led around the building to the right. Before examining the area, though, I had to make sure I was in the right place. I looked at the various mailboxes and found what I was looking for. An abandoned envelope with no writing or stamps. The only problem remaining was how to open the mailbox. Maybe using something thin for leverage. It was equipped with a normal lock. Nevertheless, it was impossible to do it with my bare hands. Maybe using something thin for leverage. It was equipped with, nevertheless, maybe using some. It was equipped with, nevertheless, maybe use. It was equipped, maybe. I was all out of. It was an My badge wasn't exactly the right tool to wedge this open with, but it was worth a try. The only thing I accomplished was jamming the badge into the narrow crack above the mailbox. The badge was so jammed that it didn't move an inch. I couldn't buzz the whole building without a clue. I couldn't buzz. I love making prank calls, but this really wasn't. I couldn't buzz the. I couldn't buzz the. I couldn't buzz the. I couldn't buzz. I couldn't buzz. I couldn't buzz. I couldn't buzz. I couldn't. It wouldn't help me in any way. I thought it was. Sometime. Someone left a stupid. I couldn't buzz the. I couldn't buzz the. I couldn't buzz. It wouldn't help me in any. I couldn't buzz. I couldn't buzz the. I love making prank. There was nothing else in the flask. The only way in seemed to be the emergency ladder. The badge was so jammed that it didn't move. That stuff tasted like chewing gum stuck under a desk for a month. I know that because Here's what the taxpayers' money was being used for. The conditions of I didn't need to make the ladder come down. As much as I loved wandering around on... There was nothing else in the flask. An antique and... I didn't need to... The alley led around the building to the right. Before examining the area, though, I thought it was better to... Sometimes... I was all out of ideas. Better think about it. No matter how hard I tried, I couldn't... I didn't... In that moment... Was it really? I thought it was... I thought it was better... In that moment... I thought it was... I thought it was better... I was all... Now, the mailbox... I thought it was... The door was one of those you could only open through an electric impulse. I wouldn't be able to force it open, even if it was a normal model. I've always been a washout as a burglar. Maybe. Sometimes. A telephone number. I love making prank calls. I could. Someone left. It wouldn't help. I couldn't. I thought it was... No matter how... I thought it was... The name on the... I couldn't buzz... I couldn't... 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 I couldn't buzz... I couldn't... 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 I couldn't buzz... I couldn't... I couldn't buzz... I couldn't... I couldn't... I couldn't... I love making prank calls. No matter how hard I try. Maybe. It wouldn't help me now. I couldn't. I couldn't. I didn't under... I thought it was... I thought it was... I didn't need to... I thought it was... Was it really? In In that moment, I didn't understand. Now the mail. I thought it was better. Sometimes, Ace Frizzo's the engine was working though, although the machine wasn't active anymore. I could sense its warmth. That stuff tastes. I know. Maybe. Ace, the engine was working though. An antique and no matter how I thought it was better. There was nothing else in the flask. Was it really? There was nothing else in the flask. As much as I loved wandering around in that moment, as much as I, no matter how migraine, as much as I couldn't buzz the whole. I couldn't buzz. I couldn't. I couldn't. I couldn't. I couldn't. I couldn't. I couldn't buzz. I love making. I thought it was. Sometimes. I thought it was. Sometimes. No matter. Maybe. I was all. I did. Maybe. Was. Sometimes. I did. Maybe. I did. No matter. I was. I thought. I did. I thought it was. I love making prank calls. Was it? I did. Sometime. In that. I couldn't buzz the whole. I couldn't. 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 I couldn't buzz the whole. I couldn't. I couldn't. I love making. I couldn't. 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 It wouldn't help me in any way. It wouldn't help me in any way. I couldn't. In that moment, I was all. I didn't. That roll of scotch. In that moment, it didn't seem to be. In that moment, no matter how. Sometime, an antique and. An antique. That stuff tasted like. I know that because at school I never had the money for snacks. The alley led around the. I didn't need to make the only way. The alley led around the before. The ladder was too high for me to. I couldn't even see it. I thought it was better. Was it really? Sometime. I didn't. In that moment, I thought the fire escape. The only. I didn't. The alley led around before. That stuff tasted like. I know. A stone bigger than the others just fell off the sidewalk. And who was I not to accept the kind gifts from Providence? Maybe. I didn't need to make the. Sometimes, my obsession with using. I didn't. No matter how. No matter. The way it was stuck. As usual, the letter was ripped and written with invisible ink. With Scotch tape, I would be able to easily reassemble it. Well, I'd have to think about the invisible ink later. I didn't. I would have stuck the Scotch tape in the back of the letter, so as to obtain the best readability. I always hated puzzles. If I have to waste time on this... I hate this stuff. Once I received a 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzle as a present. I sold it to my nephew. It wasn't as difficult as I feared. At that point, I just had to find a way to read the message hidden in the letter. Well, I remembered that to reveal invisible ink, you just have to warm it. Where could I find a source of heat that late at night? Maybe. I thought it was better to look. I didn't understand. My beloved badge. How much abuse and harassment I was able to accomplish using that simple square of fabric. Ah, those were the days. Green Dart didn't have an engine to heat up, so I had to do all the work, as always. Sometimes, in order to reveal, Green Dart didn't. In that moment, the door was one of those you could only open. No matter how hard I thought it was better. The vending machine's engine emitted a faint heat, maybe intense enough to show the hidden writing on the letter. At first, nothing happened. I was about to give up when it happened. The first characters appeared. The letter corresponded in every way with the ones found before. Supportive tone, an apparent desire to support the police force, then laced with a sudden temper tantrum hinting at a killing frenzy. I had to dig into this, looking for clues. The usual outburst in the middle of a letter that until then seemed thoughtful and balanced. Then I saw the emoticon at the end of the paragraph. That was new. That face. In his earlier letters, Blowtorch never left anything similar. I took a mental note. That smile left on the letter and the one on the intercom were identical, so I could rule out a simple coincidence. I had just identified the apartment I was looking for. The usual outburst in the middle of a letter that until then seemed thoughtful and balanced. Then I saw the emoticon at the end of the paragraph. That was new. Blowtorch's tone ranged from disappointment to encouragement, with a barely concealed desire for recognition. The letters were always kindly addressed to me. I guess Blowtorch tried to be funny at times, the only result being to appear even creepier. The last paragraph was surely hiding a clue. The murderer was even directing us to a specific profession. The forensic guys had no doubt about the gender of the killer just after the first murder. The reason for their certainty wasn't the accuracy of the burns, so much as the various bruises found on the bodies, which displayed extraordinary force. That stuff tasted like chewing. I know that because at school I never had the money for snacks, so I picked up those. That stuff tasted. I know. The alley led around the building to the right. Before examining the area, though, I had to make sure I was in the right place. That stuff tasted like. I know that. That stuff tasted like. I know that. That stuff tasted like. That stuff tasted like chewing gum stuck under a desk for a month. I know that because it. The alley led around the building to the right. Before examining the area. That stuff tasted like chewing. I know. I thought it was better. In that moment, the little gate was well than the same. I thought it was better. The smiley on the intercom marked the smiley on the apartment was registered to a certain G. Glover. I hoped I got there in time.
Yes? Who is it?
I'm Detective Bundy from HPD. If you don't mind, I need to ask you some questions. He didn't answer immediately. Moments of total silence passed, during which I thought he had hung up.
Sorry for the hesitation, but I really don't understand what you would want from me. I'm just a normal citizen who...
Yes, of course, but I really need, and I mean really need, to talk to you. With a certain urgency, too. Can you open the front door?
I hate to be a killjoy, but you have a warrant. I don't want to get into trouble with my landlord.
You know what? I guess I forgot it in my other hand. Anyway, I already told you that...
Listen, the landlord is a real pain in the ass, and I don't want any trouble.
If it's such a big deal, you won't have any problem coming back with a warrant. Good night. In my entire career, I had never been mistreated like that by someone I had to protect. Despite the fact that the guy was an idiot, I couldn't let him be killed in cold blood. Besides the front door, the only visible way in seemed to be the fire escape above. That ladder would have been the perfect way in, but it was too far. The door was one of those you could only open through an electric impulse. I wouldn't be able to force it open, even if it was a normal model. I've always been a washout as a burglar. Maybe in that alley. It didn't seem so high from the street. Even from the roof, I couldn't get to the fire escape. Jumping from that roof would be very Hollywood style, but I would have broken my neck. Even from the roof, I couldn't get to the fire escape. Even from the... In that moment, I thought of the hundreds of baseball games I'd seen while living in America, and I had a real moment of epiphany. The greatest champions in history were looking at me from the sky, cheering for me and waving their arms. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the newest member of the Baseball Hall of Fame, Lazarus Stonearm Bundy! Give it up for the only, the incomparable, Lazarus Bundy!
Lazarus Bundy in my place. Who'd have thought it?
Here's my man. All 7'5" of a man, to be exact. Well, so much the better. If things got out of hand, he could protect me.
Lazarus Bundy, what are you doing? I still had some surprises in store for you. Instead, it's already time to put an end to our game.
Just then, I knew I misunderstood the whole situation.
Other word.
Things went down dramatically. I had no gun, as always, and I had to deal with a mastodon ready to kill his next victim. Burton would surely arrive with backup shortly after. But, how shortly? Moreover, we were convinced we had to protect the man who instead just revealed himself to be the monster we were hunting. I thought of sending a text to warn him, but I had no credit on my phone, having accidentally subscribed to a live weather service. I was in more danger than ever, but at least I knew the weather was fine in Baltimore. One thing was for sure, I couldn't wait anymore.
No, Cabran. No, Cabran. Same place. Yes.
With bare hands, I would barely be able to tickle him.
Yes.
With bare hands, I would barely...
Yes. No,
Freeing the
Cabran.
girl was going to be way more difficult than that.
No. Could be. No.
A strong show, or maybe it would have led to a beating.
No. No. Same place.
He already had it.
No.
A strong show of... Or
Possible.
the beast was busy and all he did was grunt.
Yes. No. Yes. Impossible.
With bare hands, I would He already had his... The beast was busy. All he did was grumble. Apparently he became...
Same place. Same place. No. Same place. Could be. No.
That beast towered over me, but a bottle in the right spot would put anyone to sleep. I had to hold my breath. The slightest noise would betray me.
No, Cabran.
Never mind.
Yes. Same place. What the fuck? Yes. Possible. I told you to close that sewer hole, you slut! If I hear even one more whisper, I'll be forced to use more brutal methods than usual. Is that clear? Yes. Yes.
Freeing the girl was going to be way more difficult than that.
No. Could be.
Showing her my badge would have been pointless. In her situation, she would have accepted a garbage man as her savior. She was gagged, but above all,
No.
no matter how hard,
No.
a strong show of or
Yes. Impossible. Could be.
she was gagged, but
Yes.
above, freeing the girl was going to be way more difficult than that.
No, Cabran. No.
I just have gone from the frying. Trying to use the lamp as a makeshift weapon would have meant walking the entire length of the room twice. If I wanted to die, I could have found a more glorious method, such as jumping out naked after drawing a target on my chest. Breaking his TV would have been ecstasy, but not enough to put my neck on the line. In that moment, it didn't seem to be a good solution to me.
No.
Trying to use the lamp as a makeshift. If I wanted to die, a genuine I started to come up with something, but I couldn't completely focus. He left the store.
No.
Change the channel, right now. I wanted to see how the movie. I just have.
Please. Impossible.
Maybe. I just have.
Yes.
With bare hands.
No.
Breaking his TV. I thought it was.
No.
Showing her my badge would have been pointless. In her situation, she would have accepted a garbage man as her savior.
Impossible. No.
Showing her my badge. I thought it was better. I thought maybe. Sometimes
Yes.
I didn't.
No.
Freeing the
Cabran.
girl was going to be way more difficult than that.
No, Cabran.
I just have gone from.
Yes. Same place. Yes.
I was all out of. For a moment,
Possible.
and a moment only, I thought about how things might have gone if I didn't feel an unspeakable hatred of
Yes.
firearms.
No, Cabran. No. Yes.
That would have been a fitting ending for sure. Sometimes my mind floated and envisioned the most absurd situations.
Yes.
I'd fantasized enough for one night.
No.
Change the channel, right now. Showing her my badge would have been. She was gagged, but above. Trying to use the lamp as a makeshift weapon would have meant walking the entire. If I wanted to die, I could have.
No.
I started to. He left the store. Freeing the girl was going to be way more. I was all out.
No, Cabran.
He already had his. I thought it was. Maybe.
No.
He left the store. I just have gone from the frying. He left the storage room.
Same place.
The TV was silently showing a vintage spaghetti western. She was gagged and struck, but above all, she was busty. This further increased my desire to save her. The beast was busy in a one-sided conversation. All he did was grumble. Apparently he became chatty only when it came time to write me letters.
Could be.
A strong show of or maybe it would have led. I'd fantasize. The TV would
Same place.
change the channel.
Yes.
Freeing the girl was going to be way more difficult. I just
Yes.
trying to use the lamp as a makeshift weapon, but wanted
No.
breaking his. I didn't. Trying to use the lamp, but wanted to die. I thought it would. I thought maybe he already had.
Yes.
I thought
No, Cabron.
he already had.
Yes.
Showing her my. I thought it was.
Same
Was it-
place.
Showing her a strong show of authority, or maybe it would have led to a beating. A strong show of, or the beast was busy. All he
Yes.
was it really?
Same place.
I thought it was bad. Maybe. I was all out.
Yes.
I thought it was. I thought it was.
Yes.
I thought it was.
No, Cabron.
Was it really? Maybe.
Could be.
A strong show of, or
No.
was it really? A strong show of, or I was all out. He left the storage room.
Possible.
I just have.
Yes. Could be. No, Cabron.
He already had. Was it really? Breaking his. I thought it was
No, Cabron.
trying to use the lamp, but wanted to die.
Could be. No.
A genuine. Breaking his.
No.
I started to come up with. My eyes saw the.
Same place. Same place.
With bare hand. A strong show, or he already had. My beloved badge. How much abuse and harassment I was able to accomplish using. As always, I was out of credit.
Could be.
By that time, they were all using those instant messaging programs. I only had a game. The one with the snake that has to eat the. I was complete rubbish at video.
No, Cabron.
I had a pretty good idea of how to distract the threatening big guy.
Could be. Yes.
I just have gone from the front.
No.
I was desperate.
Same place. Look what you made me do, slut. First, I need to recover that damn phone that I still don't know how you managed to keep from me. Then, we'll settle up.
Freeing the girl was going to be way. Showing her my badge would have been pointless. My eyes saw.
What the? What?
Stay calm. I'll get you out of here in a split second. Hurry! Run! I'll hold him. The blowtorch case didn't go as I'd hoped. Instead of the savior, I found myself impersonating the damsel in distress. Luckily, Burton came just in time to get me out of the doghouse. In contrast to his usual MO, Blowtorch was about to take my head off with his bare hands. The signs on my neck would take weeks to disappear completely. I got suspended from the service indefinitely, obviously, and I would soon discover that sitting on my hands would never be a part of my life again. I found the Miami Harbinger under my door, as I had every day since I'd subscribed to their delivery service. I immediately saw the blurb on the front page. Blowtorch had been identified as David Ramos, an ordinary man who made a living working as a plumber. The initials, the plumbing job, everything matched the information found in the letters. That crazy guy had given us, little by little, his complete identikit. The envelope sticking out didn't have a normal appearance. A cold shiver passed down my spine. Had I just received yet another letter from Blowtorch? I immediately noticed the strange seal with which it had been secured, but I would think about that later. With a trembling hand, I set out to pull out the letter. On the paper was an address and a series of meaningless numbers. Nothing else. Ramos was giving me an appointment in a West Miami alley, but that wasn't the most absurd thing. The most absurd thing is that I'd probably have gone. The newspaper could still provide useful information to me. The leading story dealt with the disappearance of a young girl, the daughter of a certain Molesberg. Apparently, he was one of the richest and most powerful men in the city. Nevertheless, I had never heard of him before. The journalist was doubting the real disappearance of the teenager, assuming she was a runaway instead. I wonder what clues she could have had that led to such speculation. So Ramos was back after just a few hours on the run, ready to pick up our challenge where it left off. In the meantime, the Miami Harbinger was publishing news about the disappearance of the Molesberg scion that occurred the night before. What if she was the victim chosen by Blowtorch? I should seek out more information. The morning news was being aired right then. Maybe there was still time to catch the final minutes of it. That TV had every possible function, including toasting bread, but not a bloody damn power button. I needed the remote control if I wanted to turn it on. That TV had every possible... I needed the I'd wait for the right moment to enjoy... What the hell was my remote control doing in there? The TV didn't turn on. The batteries were probably dead, and the closest retailer was half an hour away by foot. Damn batteries. There must be some way to give you even a little boost. I didn't want anything from the bar. I barely drink, especially when I was working on a case. blood and sweat, I had completed that collection of action figures when I was a kid. After green. The poster claimed that the cold filled you with energy. I wondered if that was true. The poster claimed that the cold filled... I wondered if that... It kept the device thermostat held in position. Removing it would drop the temperature as low as it could go. But, alright, I rarely ate the junk food in my fridge anyway. Inside that fridge, there wasn't even misery left. I didn't want anything from the bar. I barely drank, especially when I was working on a case. I thought it was bad. Claudio, the owner of the bar where I worked many years before. Sitting at the piano was his wife. Della tried many times to teach me to strum, but with very bad results. The cell phone was inside the nightstand, comfortably resting in the underwear drawer. When I bent down to pick it up, I found myself looking at my parents' photograph. Mom and Dad, on holidays in Greece during their honeymoon. Dad with his typical sly look, Mom with an unlikely 80s rock star hairstyle. We always used to make fun of her for that juvenile look. How long had it been since I left Italy? And them. Looking at that photo always left me with a sour taste in my mouth, but that wasn't the right time to get lost in memories. I had a cell phone to retrieve and an investigation to continue. The night before, I'd even been able to deactivate that paid weather service. I could finally use the phone to do what it was designed for, making phone calls. With blood and sweat, I had completed that. After Green Dart, it was my biggest... I had nothing to hang at them, and there was nothing interesting among the items. With blood and sweat, I had completed that collection of action. After Green Dart, it was... If I left then, I wouldn't know what to look for precisely. First, I needed to find some information. I had nothing to hang at the moment, and there was nothing interesting among the items already posted. That TV had every possible function, including toasting bread, but not a bloody damn power button. I needed the remote control if I wanted to turn it on. With blood and sweat, I had completed that collection of action figures when I was a kid. After Green Dart, it was my biggest triumph. On the nightstand was a photo. Inside it was mainly my underwear. And I didn't have to change them yet. There was still time before the weekend. I had nothing to hang at the moment, and there was nothing interesting among the items already posted. Claudio, the owner of the bar where I worked many... Della tried... If I left then, I wouldn't know what to look for. The leading story dealt with the disappearance of a young girl, the daughter of a certain mole. Apparently, the journalist was doubting. The leading story dealt with the journalist was down. Obviously, I didn't want anything from the bar. Claudio, the owner of the bar where I worked many... Della tried many... I thought it was... In that... The wax seal... Those numbers had to mean... If I left then, I wouldn't know... The poster claimed that the cold filled you. I wondered if that was true. I had nothing to hang up, and there was... Claudio, the owner of the bar where I worked many years before. Della tried many times. I didn't want anything from the... Obviously, the fridge... With blood and sweat, I had completed... After Green Dart. That TV had every possible function. I needed the remote control. In that moment, I thought it was better. First, I needed to... In that moment, I didn't... I'd wait for the... First, I needed... Was it really? In that moment, I didn't With blood and sweat, I had after Green Dart. It was my... I didn't... Was it... No matter... I thought it was... I was all... It represented the Sacred Heart of Jesus, a Christian symbol of worship. My grandma insisted that I take it with me to America for protection, but to be honest, I always found it, slightly gruesome. On the nightstand was a photo of my parents on holiday. Inside it was mainly my underwear, and... I thought it was...
If I left then, I wouldn't. I didn't want anything from the bar. I barely drink, especially when I was working on a case. Before joining the detective bureau, I made a living working at a bar. How many friends did I make in those years? How much fun did I have? Claudio, the owner of the bar where I worked many years before, sitting at the piano was his wife. Della tried many times to teach me to strum, but with very bad results. I hung all kinds of reminders on that pin board, like bills to pay and anything else. But I should have also learned a method to remind me to check them. A vicious cycle. With blood and sweat, I had completed that collection of action figures when I was a kid. After Green Dart, it was my biggest triumph. A glass holder trolley that actually looked like a toilet with a pair of wheels. The poster claimed that the cold filled you with energy. I wondered if that was true. The leading story dealt with the disappearance of a young girl, the daughter of a certain Molesberg. Apparently, he was one of the richest and most powerful men in the city. Nevertheless, I had never heard of him before. The journalist was doubting the real disappearance of the teenager, assuming she was a runaway instead. I wonder what clues she could have had that led to such speculation. On the nightstand was a photo of my... Inside it was mainly my underwear. And... The last time I made up my bed, America was still at war with Great Britain. I kept Bobby, my stuffed bear, underneath. He protected me from my nightmares. Bobby was down there for a reason. To protect me from nightmares. I'd remove it only in case of extreme need. Bobby was down there for... I'd remove... Bobby was down there for a reason. I'd remove it only... It represented the Sacred Heart of Jesus, a Christian symbol of worship. My grandma insisted that I take it with me to America for protection. The last time I kept Bobby. Bobby was down there. I'd remove it only. My LCD pony, which cost me an arm, a leg, and even a toe from my foot. Literally. When I moved here, it slipped from my hands and fractured my big left toe. If I left then, I wouldn't know what to look for precisely. First, I needed to find some information. A glass holder trolley that actually looked like... I'd wait for the... I had no intent, and I never gave up an open lead. Never. Was it real? I did. I thought it was... I'd wait for... I thought it was... Sometime... I thought it was... And that... I had no intent, and I had never... And that... Maybe... I did it... I thought it was... No matter... I thought it was... Sometime... Maybe... In that moment... Was it... No matter... Was it... In that... I only had a game. I was complete rubbish at By that time, they were all using those instant messaging. Just having to talk to him in person from time to time was... Besides, my phone calls with Wheeler lasted 20 seconds at most. Then he hung up. Anti-interception measures. I didn't need to call Burton. I wondered what my mother was doing at that precise moment. It had been years since we last spoke. Anyway, I had other things to worry about. With blood and sweat, I had completed that collection of action after green dart. Those numbers had to. Plover Alley had to be a secondary lane along the larger Plover Avenue in the West Miami neighborhood. If I left then, I wouldn't know what to look. Before joining the detective bureau, I made a... How many friends? It was one of those fridge magnets, but it was shaped like... I thought it was... Maybe? I thought it was... Before joining the detective... How many... No matter... Sometimes... Before joining the detective... How many... Was it... I didn't... In that moment... Was it real? No matter how... Before joining the detective... How many... Was it real? I did... I thought it was... In that moment... Maybe. I thought it was... I was all... I thought it was... I thought it was... I thought it was... Was... In that moment... I thought it was bad. I was all out. Sometime... I thought it was... I was all out. In that moment... In that moment... No matter how... I thought it was... No matter how... I was all... Maybe. I thought it was... In that moment, with blood and sweat, after green dart, it was my biggest triumph. I thought it was better. With blood and sweat, after green... With blood and sweat, after... I didn't... Was it... Bobby the Bear. Lately he'd been slacking off. Bobby the Bear. Bobby the Bear. Bobby the Bear. Bobby the Bear. Lately he'd been... No matter how... I was all... In that moment... Maybe. I thought... Maybe. I thought... I didn't...
I thought it was... I didn't... I thought it was...
First, I needed to charge it somehow. If I left then, I wouldn't know what to look for precisely. First,
I was all out of... In that moment... I didn't... Was it really? Sometime? Maybe. I didn't... I thought it was bad. I thought it was bad. Sometimes. I thought it was bad.
I didn't want anything. If I left then, I wouldn't know what to look for.
Was it really? My mini fridge. Spacious enough for someone like me who only eats at home. I thought it was bad. My mini fridge. Spacious enough for someone.
I read somewhere.
Could it be true? This story of batteries recharging in the cold? Hey, maybe that's what igloos are. Huge batteries shaped like houses. Oh, that would explain why Eskimos wear gloves, to prevent electric shocks.
It was time to discover if my limited physics knowledge would help me or not. If I left then, I wouldn't know what...
I didn't need to call Burton. Just having to talk to him, and besides, my phone calls with Wheelo last anti-inter... I wondered what my mother was doing anyway. By that time, they were all... Sometimes... I didn't understand... I didn't under... I thought it was better. I thought it was better. Sometimes. Sometimes.
On the nightstand was a photo of my parents. Inside,
In that moment,
I already recharged the remote.
sometimes,
If I left then, I wouldn't know what to look for.
I thought it was better.
I'd wait for the...
Was it really? I was. Maybe. Was it really? No matter how. In that moment, better. Maybe, or maybe not. Sometimes,
The house of famous tycoon Eric Molsberg, where an attempted break-in was reported last night. No statement has been released either from the police or the family, so the specifics of the offense are still shrouded in mystery. The only detail that has been leaked so far is some strange graffiti drawn on the front of the mansion, probably left by the same individual or group that attempted the late-night illegal entry. As you can see behind me, the symbol appears to have been applied using an enormous quantity of blood, perhaps of a human nature. We await confirmation on the origin of the liquid, with hopes that it isn't the blood of young Catherine Molsberg. Stay tuned to this network for further developments. From Gwendolyn Pratt, back to you in the newsroom.
that symbol on the wall. I saw it even before that swine of a hack opened her mouth. It was identical to the seal on the letter I had just received. I had no doubt anymore. Blowtorch was pulling out all the stops to finish our challenge in style.
I toyed with the idea of contacting Burton to bring him up to speed on the situation, but I scrapped that thought. If I could close the case myself, my superiors would be forced to reinstate me into the department. Was it really worth the risk of falling straight into a trap? Or was I kidding? I was never the kind of man to back down from a challenge, no matter how dangerous it may be. It was high time to let the world see what I was worth. I wouldn't be remembered as the detective that let one of the worst serial killers in the history of Miami slip away. The thing to do next was retrieve Green Dart, just in case I needed to race off in pursuit of Ramos. My beloved bike had been left at the HPD the night before. To recover it, a long walk awaited me. Hey Richie, how's it going?
Hello, Lazarus.
Richard, we've been neighbors for 5 years now. What do you think about finally calling me Lars?
I like the sound of Lazarus.
There's something magnetic about it, don't you think?
Speaking of magnetism, do you still have that magnet I loaned you?
Yeah, well, you know, it's complicated.
What do you mean by complicated? You didn't lose it, did you?
No, not lost, no. I used it in a secret mission.
My magnet. In a secret mission.
Very, very secret. So secret I can't tell you anything about it.
Well, do me a favor and get it back to me as soon as possible. It's a fond family memory.
And that's what it would remain for poor Richard. A memory. Any good news in the mailbox?
Once you could find love letters inside. Now it's just bills and a mountain of advertising. Do you even read the advertisements they send you?
No, I just use it to ignite the coal at the barbecues with my colleagues.
See you soon, Richie.
Sure, at next Sunday's residents meeting. You'll come, right?
I have a previously scheduled engagement.
Sorry, did I say Sunday? I meant Saturday.
Even worse, I have to attend a funeral.
Oh, too bad. Then my condolences.
The only one who'd die would be me if I went to another one of those stupid meetings of boredom. I had nothing else to ask. I was sure I would find only bills and late payment warnings. Sometimes it's better not to know, so I didn't open it. I was sure I would find... Sometimes it's better... I was sure I would... Sometimes... In that moment, I thought it was better to... Despite having... Sometimes... No matter how hard... Despite having... I was all out of ideas. Despite in that moment, maybe. I was sure I would find only... Sometimes it's better... I was sure I would find only... Sometimes it's better... For months I kept asking and asking Miss Joyce to repair that hole. Sooner or later I would fall through it again. The Parmesan had been dangling from the ceiling for years, and by now it had reached a very strong seasoning. I used to prepare a trap for a rat that was haunting the attic. I almost managed to grab it when the floor decided to collapse underneath my feet. And what's worse, I disastrously landed on the floor beneath, causing that huge hole. Moral of the story? The Parmesan was still hanging from those wires, and I had started to hate rats. The Parmesan had been dangling. Maybe it was the right thing to do, but in that moment, I didn't realize it. I was all out. I was all out. I was all out of... Maybe. Maybe. I had nothing else to ask him. I was sure I would find only bills and late payment warnings. Sometimes it's better not... The Parmesan had been dangling from the ceiling for years, and by now, it had reached a very strong seasoning. I didn't Sometimes...
Sometimes... I was all out of... The Parmesan had been dangling from the ceiling. I thought it was bad. The Parmesan had been... For months I kept asking and asking Miss Joyce to repair that hole. Sooner or later I would fall. For months I kept asking... I found a very bad surprise waiting for me outside the office. Those idiots in the department had pierced a tire of my beloved green Dart. Furthermore, the bike was locked to the streetlight with its chain. We, though, probably had the keys, but for the tire I would have to come up with something. One thing was for sure, I wouldn't leave the HPD without my green Dart. Sometimes... Hey, Wheelo.
Oh, it's just you.
Who else would it be?
A government inspector, maybe? They're everywhere these days.
We are the HPD, the last place a government inspector would check.
We work for justice, so we're all clean and spotless. Is that what you think?
Actually, if we're talking about being clean, that doesn't really apply anymore. Listen, it's you has the keys to Green Dart, right?
Yes, the chief inspector entrusted their custody to me. Can you show me an identification document?
Wheelo, if you don't give me the keys to my Green Dart right now...
I'll make an exception to the rule.
Hey, where did the second key come from? That's not mine.
The keys were delivered to me as you see them, but if you want to fill out a complaint form...
I'll keep them this way.
What the hell happened to my Green Dart?
The vehicle has a puncture on the front tire. Not only that, it's chained to a lamppost.
Do you have any idea who perpetrated this offense?
I don't have all the necessary evidence to make an assessment. Do you want to press charges?
It'd be a waste of time. Instead, do you know where there's a bike shop around here so I can buy a new tire?
There's one 5 blocks away from here, along the promenade.
It took me 2 hours just to get here from my house. I can't afford to lose the whole day. I'll manage some other way. Have you got any spare chewing gum?
It depends. Who's asking?
The President of the United States.
Very funny. I might have some more, yes.
Well, perfect. That's exactly what I need.
Don't get any ideas. I'm done giving you things for free.
Come on. Stop talking nonsense and give me some gum.
Okay. Bring me the latest edition of Play Guy and maybe we can talk about it. What? I'm alone all day down here. I have to find some way to pass the time.
Looks like I might have to spend the day running errands for this paranoid. On the other side of the street is a newsstand. I better hurry up if I don't want to waste too much time. Maybe. Hey, Wheelo. I'll go check if the package I've been waiting on for 3.5 months has arrived. It provided access to the city sewers.
Many tourists love visiting sewers. I'll never understand why. had a vision of me uprooting the hydrant with my bare hands and then crooning, "I'm singing in the rain," under the water pressure jet. I don't know why, but I've always had a penchant for musicals. Bullets in Love, the box office smash hit movie of the recent months. The classic predictable thriller where at the end the killer turns out to be, spoiler alert, the main character. Bullets in Love, the classic predictable... I thought it was... Sometime... I needed Green Dart to move, but fixing it with... I needed something to plug... Could have easily opened... It was Green Dart, at the moment. It provided access to the many tourists love... I had just been fired and baked... Sometimes, my obsession... It wasn't one of those... Not yet. It wasn't one of those... Not yet. That... I could see my reflection on the... And... Maybe. I could see my reflection on the... And... I thought it was better. I thought it was better. It wasn't one of the... Not yet. I thought it was better. Bullets in Love, the classic. Bullets in Love, the classic. I'd wait for... I had no intent, I was all out. Maybe. Sometime. I was all out of... Was it really? It wasn't one of those... Not yet. Bullets in Love, the classic... With his mother distracted, stealing the balloon and lollipop from the kid would be child's play. How low I've sunk. Good morning, Didier.
Bonjour, détective.
You're still practicing your French, I see.
Je suis really French, détective. How many times do I have to tell you?
Come on, cut the act. Just give me a copy of Play Guy, please.
Do you plan to pay this time?
Hey? You're particularly funny today, Didier.
I cannot extend you any more credit, detective. Your account has so many zeros that I struggle to read the total.
I refuse to pay even 1 penny to do Willow a favor.
On the other hand, Inspector Burton has left something paid for you.
Seamus is really funny. Was it my fault that Ramos was a mountain of a man?
That is all for now. See you soon, detective.
By the way, your fake pronunciation sucks. Putting it in my pocket was out of the question. I'd have sold my amazing if needed. I could have used it on the spot. Putting it in my pocket was if... I could have tried asking him for it first. The wall had recently been stuccoed, so... He was getting down with that guitar. The fountain wasn't especially elaborate. And to tell the truth, it also seemed out of place. It emitted a hypnotic water jet, though, neither too violent nor too calm. If I ever had the need for those tools, I would know where to look. The wall had recently been stuccoed, so it definitely had more refined look compared to the rest of the building.
Hello.
How can I help you?
You're doing a really great job.
You can say that again, my friend. Nobody does grout work like this these days. Listen to old Tom. That's not just a wall, it is art.
If he could, that man would have exhibited his stuccoed wall in the Louvre of Paris, near the Mona Lisa. Is that magazine on the wall yours?
Of course it's mine. What a question.
Well, this is a very difficult situation to explain. In short, I urgently need that magazine.
I understood full well what kind of urgency we're talking about. But unfortunately, I have an urgency even greater than yours. Look at those soft curves, those gentle shades.
Please, let's not get into any details.
What are you suggesting? My urgency is art. I need that magazine as inspiration for my walls. So I can't give it to you. Go to the newsstand and buy a copy like everyone else.
Well, I tried to ask him politely. Now I'd have to graduate to cunningly stealing. I had nothing else to ask him. Ramos was everywhere, constantly reminding me of the thrashing I suffered. Ramos was everywhere, constantly reminding me of the... I needed Green Dart to move, but fixing it with my bare hands seemed impossible. I needed something to plug. Here's your magazine.
I asked you for a magazine with naked women.
A fiery red sports... I prefer... I thought it was better to... I thought it was better. I could see my reflection. I didn't... I could see my reflection. I thought it was better. I had just been fired and begging Burton wouldn't have done any good. I had just been... I was all... One of the two keys opened Green Dart's lock. The other was still a mystery. That guy's sure muscles made me want to start a... I thought it was... Was it really... No matter how... I could see my reflection on the glass. I was all out. I could see my reflection on the... No matter how... I could see my reflection on the... And... Maybe. Hey, Wheelo. I'll go check the level of the sea's saltiness to verify it's up to code. Hey, Wheelo. I'll go check that traffic light to be sure it's coordinated with the next one. I had a vision of me uprooting the hydrant with my bare hands and then crooning, "I'm singing in the rain," under the water pressure jet. I don't know why, but I've always had a penchant for musicals. It wasn't one of those situations. Not yet. Bullets in Love. The classic. It wasn't one of those. Not yet. It wasn't one of those. Not yet. I had a vision of me uprooting the hydrant with my bare hand. I don't know. I had just been fired and begging. Bullets in Love. The classic predictable thriller where it provided access. Many tourists love visiting sewers. I'll never understand why. Hey, Milo, do you mind if I borrow this marker for a while?
What do you have to do?
I don't know why precisely. I might need it eventually.
I, on the contrary, may need it for work, so the answer is no.
Could have easily opened the lock with a key. And sometimes, my obsession with using random was green dart at the moment. Maybe. I didn't. I thought it was green dart at the moment. It was. Maybe. Could have easily opened. I could see my reflection on the glass door. And what a reflection it was. I had just been fired and begging. I had just been fired. A fiery red. I prefer. I thought it was bad. I could see my reflection on the glass. I'd rather talk to. Just having to talk. Besides, anti-inter. I wondered what my mother was doing at that precise. Anyway, I only had a game. I was. By that time. Sometimes. I was all. Was it really worth? Sometime. Here's your magazine. Here's your magazine.
I asked you for a magazine with naked
I didn't. Maybe. I didn't. Bullets in Love. The box office smash. The classic predictable thriller. We're at the end. It wasn't one of those. Not yet. No matter how hard I. Could have easily opened the lock. I was all out. I thought it was. No matter how. It wasn't one of those situations. Not yet. No matter how.
I was all out. I thought. I didn't. Sometime. I thought it was. I was all out. I thought. I thought it was. Some. It wasn't. Not yet. Sometime.
Bullets in Love. The box office, the classic predictable thriller where... It wasn't one of the... Not yet.
No matter how. No matter.
I had just been fired and... It wasn't one... Not yet. It wasn't... Not...
I thought.
I just...
I thought. I was all out of. No matter how.
It wasn't one of the... Not yet.
I thought it was bad. I thought it was. Maybe. I was all. Sometimes. Maybe. I didn't.
I had just been...
I thought it was better.
Yes. I would rapidly switch the covers so that the Mason wouldn't notice the disappearance of... No, I felt more at ease. The cover depicted a muscled man in a military pose. The contents, though, were much... Here you are, you filthy pervert.
But these were not the kinds of pecs I really wanted to see.
Take the cover off, you idiot.
Oh, now I get it.
Don't get smart. Now, I want the chewing gum we agreed on.
Help yourself, but make sure you're not seen. It could look like attempted bribery.
Hey, Wheelo, do you mind if I borrow the...
What do you have to do?
I don't know why
I, on the contrary, may...
I had to stoop to the brink of pornography.
Was it? I was all. I thought it was. I didn't.
The chewing gum was exact... I prayed it didn't stick to my gloves, or I'd have to spend half a day cleaning them. The chain remained the last obstacle to freedom, but fortunately, I had the keys with me. I still couldn't take the bite. I still couldn't take... I still couldn't take... I still couldn't take... It was green dark. At the moment, it was...
What clumsy hands!
I had... I think I felt a twinge in my hand.
And you scored. What a shot.
Which physical law of the universe causes keys to inevitably fall inside the only manhole nearby? Opening the grate with bare hands was impossible. Besides, inside it seemed empty, so I imagined there must be a long drop beneath it. I saw no alternative. To recover the key, I would need to penetrate the sewers, but this would take time. I had already wasted too much. By then, the sun was almost setting. I decided to head out immediately, hoping not to miss the appointment. When I reached the place, the sun had already set. An old, desolate alley in West Miami. I didn't know what to expect yet. I had to move cautiously. Damn cat! A TV in bits and pieces. Boxes, empty bottles of detergent, junk. A TV in bits and pieces. It seemed like a vending machine for chewing gum, but actually it contained soft marshmallows. Hey, are you okay? No answer. Not even a twitch or perceptible movement. Then I realized how things really were. The man wasn't breathing. What the?
Lazarus Bundy. Forgive this production, but I can't be with you in person for reasons beyond my control. The young Malsberg's kidnapping is just the first piece of a complex puzzle, a plan which, if not stopped, threatens to drag all of us to our doom. I leave the responsibility in your hands, Detective. Catherine Malsberg must be found, and her kidnappers brought to justice. Look for my symbol.
I forced myself to interpret all this like a very bad joke. I failed. I started with the conviction to end my challenge with Ramos, and yet I found myself receiving a brand new one. The tone of that man suggested only determination, not a single trace of mockery, nor even a perceptible tremble. That guy really believed what he said. I immediately realized that he wasn't a mythomaniac. Racking my brain would have been useless, so I decided to go back home and sleep on it. Maybe the night would bring much-needed insight, and the next day I'd know what to do. As was happening more and more often, I hadn't slept much, and I almost had the feeling I dreamed everything. Had I really received a bloody challenge from a lunatic with a mask? I needed confirmation, and the HPD office seemed the best place to look for it. Today's Miami Harbinger. Who knows if it might suggest something interesting. Father Verb, one of the most influential and controversial figures of our time. The Harbinger had even published the first page in color in his honor. Years before he had received the Nobel Prize for, I don't remember what reason. Then he disappeared from the scene. Apparently he had recently decided to return with a book attacking the project Alternative Sentence, launched by the United Nations a few years earlier. I didn't know much about it, but I suspected that soon everybody would be talking about it. Father Verb, one of the most influential. Years before, he had apparently had recently decided to return with a book attacking the project Alternative Sentence, launched by the United Nations a few years earlier. I didn't know much about it, but I suspected that soon everybody would be talking about it. Father Verb, years before, apparently had the HPD no standard. Let's go. Father Verb, one of the most influential and controversial. Years before, he had apparently had I did. I had learned everything. I had learned everything I. On the nightstand was a photo of my parents on holiday in Greece. Inside it was mainly my underwear, and I didn't have to change them yet. Bobby was down there for a reason. I'd remove it only in case of extreme need. I had nothing to hang at the moment, and there was nothing interesting among the items already posted. Claudio, the owner of the bar where I worked many years before, sitting at the piano was his wife. Della tried many times to teach me to strum, but with very bad results. With blood and sweat, I had completed that collection of action figures when I was a kid. After Green Dart, it was my biggest triumph. I didn't want anything from them. I had learned everything I could from the TV. Now I had to investigate in person. With blood and sweat, I had completed that collection of action figures when I was a kid. After Green Dart, it was my biggest triumph. I had to go to Molesberg's mansion as soon as possible. To do that, I faced two problems. I had to convince Seamus Burton to give me access to the crime scene and recover the keys that kept Green Dart imprisoned, which I accidentally dropped in the sewer. It would also be useful to visit the alley again, where, just a few hours before, I received the challenge. In the daylight, some new clue might emerge. In that moment, sometimes my obsession with using random items didn't lead anywhere. Sometimes maybe, or I thought it was better. Maybe it was the right thing to do. Sometimes I'd wait for the right. Was it really? In that moment, maybe it was the.
Maybe it was. I was all out of ideas. Better. Was it really? I was all out. I thought it was better. I was sure I would find only bills and late payment warnings. Sometimes it's better not to know, so I didn't open it. Despite having customized it and made it ridiculously cool, it was still a wretched carrier. The Parmesan had been dangling from the ceiling for years, and by now, it had reached a very strong seasoning. Without a badge, it didn't make any sense to show up at the villa. People tend to be reluctant to speak to a detective with no credentials. Furthermore, I still had to retrieve the keys I dropped in the sewer in Free Green Dart. Without a badge, it didn't make any sense. Furthermore, Hey, Wheelo. I need permission to enter, Wheelo.
The HPD is not open to civilian. You should know that full well. But if you need to press charges, let me know.
I came to visit Seamus, Wheelo. Is it necessary to be part of the CIA to see him?
Curious that you mentioned the CIA.
Oh, God. Let's just do this old school. You scratch my back, and I scratch yours. Deal?
Actually, there is one thing an ignorant peasant like you could do for me. Do you see that red sports car?
It's impossible not to see that fireball.
A fireball parked for 3 days in a spot reserved for a public official, namely me. I tried to have it towed, but they just ignored me.
I can't imagine why, but okay. I'll make that car disappear sooner than you can formulate another conspiracy theory.
If you need tactical support, let me know.
I'll go check that there's no government spy hidden behind that palm.
Was it really
I didn't
Hey, Milo, do you mind?
What do you have to...
I can use it.
Alright, go ahead and take it. I prefer the old methods anyway.
I will never understand why you keep using quills instead of normal...
Pens contain microchip for satellite tracking. Didn't you know?
I didn't...
Was it?
Some... I didn't And that...
Something more it would have surely when I need... I could see my reflection on the glass and...
I thought it was better to look... How many acts? I had nothing else to ask him. She was planning to commit to film every detail that might be worth showing to her relatives. That fountain was horrible. I didn't know why she took pictures of it so earnestly. She was planning to commit to film every detail that might be... That fountain was horrible.
The fountain wasn't especially elaborate, and to tell the truth, it also seemed out of place. It emitted a... I was happy to get rid of that magazine. I had nothing else to say to that.
I had nothing else to ask him.
He was getting...
Ramos. Once my colleagues drew a fake mustache on me with one of these. I had to...
Maybe in there I'd have found something that might have helped.
Hey, you! What are you trying to do?
I was checking that all tools are in compliance with the security regulations for roadworks.
Are you a trade unionist?
No, I'm just a citizen who values the safety of our good masons risking their lives every day.
If you really care about your health, leave those tools alone.
I thought it was better. Sometime. And inviting.
The magnet was...
I thought it was... I didn't... I was all out...
Was it really?
No matter how hard I try. In that moment...
Something more Some men are able to move a car with their bare hands, as if I was never one. Obviously, the magnet attract... To enter the building, Milo was the one responsible for
In that moment...
It would have surely forced the car when I needed was...
Sometimes... No matter how... Sometimes... I thought it was better.
Something more... To enter the building, Milo was the one responsible for distributing the...
Sometimes...
I still couldn't take the...
I didn't
Obviously... Was it really... Was... Something more... Was it really... To enter the building, Mila was the one...
Maybe. I thought it was... Maybe. In that moment... Maybe. In that moment...
Something more...
Sometime...
To enter the building, Mila was the one responding. To enter the building, Mila was the...
Maybe.
I thought it was... I could see my reflection on the glass.
I was all...
Something more...
I thought it was... I was all out of...
I still couldn't take the...
I didn't...
Was... I still couldn't take... Was... Mila was the one... I thought... Something...
In that moment...
To enter the building, Mila was the one responding. Was it really?
I didn't...
I thought it... Was...
In that...
Was...
In that... Maybe.
I thought...
No matter... It led me to where that crazy guy launched his challenge. It led me to where that crazy... Those numbers...
I thought...
I would... In that... I would... No
I thought... Was...
I would... In that...
I thought...
In that...
The universe... The best of the worst.
No matter how...
Some... Was it real? Mila was...
In that... I did...
Some...
I would...
I thought... I had no intent, and I'd win.
I would...
I thought...
I was all out...
What? I had no intention, and I had never...
I was all out...
I had nothing else to say.
I didn't under... Sometime... In that moment... No matter how... I would...
I thought it was better. I consider my... Hey, boss. Some punk must have targeted your amazing brick wall. There it was. The kleptomaniac's heaven. Found an adjustable wrench. A worn out but still usable mallet. And a brand new measuring tape. I was all... sometime... Maybe... Was... Maybe... I was all... I did... I thought it... I thought... It was a long and robust tape measure. When I was by rotating the gear on this, a heavy mallet with... I thought it... I was all... I was all... And that... I didn't... No matter... I didn't... And that... Sometime... And that... Maybe... In that moment... I didn't... And that... And that... I thought it... I thought... Was... I didn't... I was... I didn't... A heavy mallet with 2 nails. It would have surely forced the coroner to move it away. What I needed was a more cunning and... something more specific. By doing that, I would maybe... Was it really... I thought it was better. No matter how... Was it really... I was all... No matter how hard I tried, I couldn't see a good reason to do that. In that moment, by doing that, I would maybe in the end the lock would have given in, but it would have surely forced what I need. If the parking culprit. I let the water pressure do the rest. Now, it would just be a matter of time. The place is all yours, Wheelo.
Lazarus Bundy. What a chance encounter.
And things go from bad to worse. Man, I didn't realize how dirty Green Dart was. I really need to deal with something else right now. Come back later, okay?
Information can't wait. But above all, it's the American people who can't wait. They deserve to know. And right now, they are crying out to hear what law enforcement is doing to protect the great country which is America. In particular, what Lazarus Bundy is doing to prevent a dangerous criminal from continuing to slaughter innocent people.
Well, I could tell you about how my brain practically spilled out of my ears from the beating I took just to save a girl, but then your article would read, Detective Bundy loses brain and culprit.
That means you had some gray matter left when you let the metro artist and the nightclub gigolo slip through your fingers?
Is giving nicknames to criminals the best you can do, apart from appearing just when something goes wrong?
Gotcha. You're admitting the last case went wrong. Rumor has it that this umpteenth failure was also your last failure, Bundy. Rumor is that Seamus Burton refused to have your back after Blowtorch, the monster that shook Miami, escaped capture.
Rumor is also that a certain detective could sue a certain imposter for slander.
Do you want to stand against the freedom of the press? I have the people on my side.
Are you talking about those morons that read your sensationalist and defamatory stuff?
Very well. The Red Scarf Detective insults honest citizens.
Why am I still talking to you?
Because I'm about to give you a loophole out of this spiral of failure. In 2 days, I'll be shooting a special in front of Ramos's house. A program in which I'll reveal all the info I have on live television, whether provided by official sources or not.
And I should be that official source, I suppose. You know, I think I'll respectfully decline your proposal.
I got wind that the detective in charge of the case had voluntarily let David Ramos get away. According to a credible witness who wished to remain anonymous for safety reasons, there could be a history of corruption behind this.
I've never accepted a bribe in my entire life, Brad. You know that full well.
That is your truth. Do you think it's intriguing enough to become the preferred truth of the people? The ball is in your court, Bundy. It's up to you to decide whether to shoot it or pass. Bye-bye.
So that harpy had chosen her scapegoat to sacrifice to the national press. What was I supposed to do at that point? Would I go back where it all started, or would I let them tear me apart without even trying to defend myself?
Hey, Lars. Was Gwendolyn Pratt the woman you were talking to?
What? Don't be silly. You know Pratt avoids me like a plague. Never mind that. What do you have to say about my parking job?
Yes, an impressive performance. Although I'd have done it faster.
Stop wearing out my eardrums and grant me permission. This is my modified temporary pass. I was sure I lost it years ago.
I kept it as a symbol of your egocentrism. You're the first and only one to ever insist on having his photo on a temporary pass.
I wouldn't want a car like that even if it was a gift. Not to mention that Green Dart could probably go faster than that beater, with less pollution. Hey there.
Good morning. What can I do for you?
How formal. In this office, the air is already stuffy despite the windows being open.
You are right. This is an office, sir. Therefore, there's a standard we must adhere to, and I can't afford to make mistakes.
First day of work, huh?
First day of internship, actually.
Terrifying. Once I did an internship at a post office, and I was forced to lick stamps for 3 months. Eventually, I acquired the ability to climb walls with my tongue.
That's not my case. This is exactly the place I'd like to be.
Are you kidding me?
The mystery-filled atmosphere. The walls soaked with a strong sense of justice. The excitement of not knowing what your next case will be.
Or if you'll be able to pay the monthly rent?
That is really not uncertain. This is an unpaid internship.
I feel you, sister. Now, can you let Burton know that I'd like to talk to him?
I can try, but I don't think the inspector will be receptive right now. Whom do I have to introduce?
What? Don't you recognize me? I'm the one and the only incomparable Lazarus Bundy!
You are Lazarus Bundy? They called you the Mutt at the academy.
Hey, if I get my hands on the ones calling me names...
They meant that when you take a case, you grab onto it like a dog with a bone and don't give up until it's stripped clean.
Oh, well, in that case, I cannot disagree.
I'll promptly announce you, Mr. Bundy. I'm sure Inspector Burton will be happy to receive you. Mr. Burton? Detective Bundy is here asking to meet with you. Can I let him in, sir?
Bundy, you said? Let him through.
All right, sir. You can go in, Mr. Bundy.
Thanks a lot, Miss... what's your name?
Alice. Alice Sharp, sir.
Alice. Nice name. Oh, Alice.
Yes, Mr. Bundy?
Please drop the formality and call me Lars. I'm not your superior.
Okay, Mr. Lars.
Bundy, I wasn't expecting to see you here so soon.
I couldn't stay away from you for more than 12 hours, old boy. How's Isabel?
She has a hairier chest than you and more pants than me. What are you doing here?
I decided to be elusive. It didn't make sense to involve the department in a story that, up till that moment, I wanted to keep private. I still can't get used to the idea of sleeping as long as I want, and I'm struggling to fill my free time.
Don't start with your games. Nobody's buying them. I bet you're here to snoop around the Malsberg case.
I did hear something in passing on the TV. What can you tell me about it?
Nothing you can't hear on the news tonight. Normal kidnapping case. A teenage victim, Catherine Malsberg, daughter of Eric Malsberg, one of the wealthiest and most powerful men in the city. The latter details suggest two possible scenarios. We could be dealing with a pro, or better yet, with someone desperate who will be shaking in his boots at the first sign of a threat. Imagine, we haven't even warned Malsberg of our involvement in this investigation. We just limited ourselves to putting his phone under surveillance at the request of the police. Soon we'll get a contact, the pressure cooker will pass to the negotiator, and we can go back to dealing with the scum.
But this is a strong media impact case. Not solving it would mean compromising the reputation of the HPD.
I always liked the way you turn the tables, kid, but you won't push me into asking for your help.
Don't make me beg, old man. Give me another chance.
And then it would be another and yet another. You would never give up, and I'd find myself constantly covering your ass.
If you refer to the blowtorch case, I already thanked you 1,000 times for saving my skin from that maniac serial burner. Despite the nail-biting finale, though, the girl is safe. We can discuss protocol and procedures, but at the end of the day, that's what really counts.
If you had waited for backup as planned instead of going rogue, we would have saved the girl and taken our man. Now Ramos is on the lam with a rap sheet that would put a terrorist to shame and with his goddamn blowtorch.
Rap sheet? You checked the criminal records of the tenants in that building, and they were all spotless.
Because he committed his crimes under the name Hector Manchada during his stay in Mexico. Those incompetents downstairs let a man accused of rape and violence against women slip through their hands. Idiots.
That's why you need me. I never allow such a disaster.
No, you've caused a totally different one. You've been reckless. You acted without thinking, and if we're being frank, you also got beat up like a shrinking violet. Now open your ears and listen up, kid. This old Irish ass has spent most of his life within these walls and recognizes when a career has come to an end. You can't work anymore. The sooner you accept this reality, the better.
I get it, old man. You're all heart and fatherly advice. I made a mistake coming here, and it's wasted my time.
Just hear me, kid. It's not redemption you need now.
Burton was immovable. I could usually extort any kind of favor from him, but not that time. I needed my badge if I wanted to take up the challenge posed to me. I asked myself where it could be stashed. Burton's very own office? And if so, how to recover it? One thing was certain. I needed help. And maybe I knew where to find some. Hello.
Hi.
Are you really interested in obtaining this job?
More than anything else. Ever since I was 10 and watched noir movies with my dad, I dreamed of investigations, spy stories, chases.
Those were only in-movie situations, but I considered it appropriate to curb my sarcasm for once. This girl could be very helpful. With such enthusiasm, you're gonna go far. Did you study anything before getting here?
I studied computer science in depth at the academy. And some kinesics.
Oh, finally, someone who might understand Wheelo when he talks. I'm sure he barrages me with curse words, under the guise of his exotic language.
Willow-wee is Vietnamese, not Chinese. And kinesics is a science that studies body language.
It sounds complex. What's its use?
It helps me understand if a person is being honest. I am certain it will be helpful here.
I was wondering, that white lock of yours...
Everybody asks about my lock, and nobody receives an answer. It's personal.
Given that I'm not the one working for free, I'm gonna go take a walk.
The day I'm hired full-time, this teasing will end forever.
Hello.
Hi.
I know it may sound...
I couldn't refuse.
As it turns...
What?
Right now, it's not important. What matters is that I can't work officially anymore, and I find myself conducting an investigation off the books. But I can't do that without my badge.
Wait, you're going to ask me to get it behind the inspector's back, aren't you? You're not really asking that of me, a first-day intern, the bottom step on the social ladder, are you?
You bet, intern.
I could possibly accept...
Some healthy, real-life work?
I must warn you, though, if you call me intern once more in that tone, I'll put my fist in your eye.
I think I can resist the impulse. So...
Done deal.
I need a distract...
I knew I should expect such things when I accepted the internship. Add my phone...
Of course.
I see my...
See you soon, in...
Ugh.
I didn't need to call Alice right at that moment. I wondered what my mother... Anyway, I'd rather talk... Just having to talk... Besides, anti-inter... By that time... The weird cases, aka the department. The real mystery was why Bert... Hello, good man.
What?
Can you tell me how long this work will last?
I know your type. You're one of those who likes complaining to his superiors. Go bother someone else, loafer.
I just wanted to chat. I don't even work here anymore.
Then you're just wasting my time.
You ain't seen nothing yet. About wasting your time. Why did the blacksmith turn the radio off?
No, please, no jokes. I don't...
He doesn't like heavy metal. That made me laugh so hard. Do you know why a blacksmith...
Wait, I don't...
Iron deficiency.
Can I get back to my work now?
Okay.
I wanna die.
There's this blacksmith who urgently needs an assistant. So he hires the first novice he finds. The first workday starts. The blacksmith takes an iron bar, heats it, and puts...
Now I take out the bar and put it on the anvil, he says to the young apprentice. As soon as I nod my head, you hit it as hard as you can with the hammer.
Those were his last words. Well, maybe you'll get it later. They just fired my friend.
Please, no.
He had lost his temper.
You're unfair.
Enough with this.
Thank God.
You know what?
That Ramos has forever tarnished the noble art of welding. Someone should really teach him a lesson.
I hope it doesn't have to be me. I'll go enjoy...
I hope it's...
Useless junk. I suppose asking you to borrow the drill...
Yeah, I'd let you take it, since it belongs to that inept fool. But if you want to use it here...
It was a welder. Having a metallic object of considerable size... I balanced one of the boards over the void, creating a suspended bridge. I didn't exactly feel safe about it. The board seemed well positioned, but not very stable. Maybe I was being too cautious. By securing the board to the railing? Now the board was well secured on the side of the balcony with 2 nails, while the planter held it firmly in place. Unfortunately, the mallet broke during the hammering. It was obviously more damaged than it looked. The crossing would be dangerous, and the motivation pushing me to act was way too weak. Yet I felt I needed to go through with this story, no matter what. It was already the second time in a matter of days that I found myself spying on someone through a window. I hoped it would not turn into an obsession. I couldn't do anything from the windowsill. Burton was standing there like a lump. I didn't under... No matter how... Maybe. Was it sometimes? No matter how... I thought it was... I was all... No matter how... I couldn't do anything. Burton was standing there like a... Was it I thought it was... Was it I was all... And that... I did... Once my colleague... I had... And let him see... Now it was up to Alice to get Burton out of my...
Okay, now I have the chance to prove myself. I just have to stay calm, not screw it up, and maybe, and I say maybe, this month I'll be able to pay my rent.
Hey, intern.
Yes?
Don't you see that there isn't even one coffee bean left in this office? I can't concentrate without caffeine, so try to procure some right now, intern.
I really don't like the way he keeps saying intern to me. As I already told you, my name is Alice, and unfortunately at the moment I can't deal with...
Less talking and more coffee. Come on, march.
I can't waste my time paying attention to this bore. I must put into practice what I learned in the academy and study his behavior. I need to focus. I don't think so. I don't think... No. All right. I need to read this man like a book. All right then. Let's see if all those sleepless nights hitting the books were good for something. Hey, you.
Are you talking to me, intern?
Yes, you, hairdo.
What? Hey, watch your mouth, intern, or else...
Or else what? Actually, you know what? You can get that coffee yourself, detective.
But
I really did it. Now let's take care of Burton, quick.
Come in.
Mr. Burton, I need a hand filling in these forms.
It should be Travisky helping you with those things. What happened to that slacker?
I couldn't find him anywhere, so I thought that if you could be so kind to...
I'm really busy right now, as you can see. You'll have to figure it out for yourself, darling.
Okay. I'll be going then.
Wait. Curse me and my compassion. I'll help you, but just this one time, are we clear?
I won't disappoint you, sir. Thank you.
At that point, I needed to move at high speed. The blowtorch dossier. It seemed possible that my badge might have been temporarily left in there. And there it was, just as I thought. It was done. I was finally free to act as a qualified investigator.
I'm calling it a day, Alice. My arthritis is killing me with all this writing. Well, let's take a look at this damn dossier.
And then what would I do to get out of trouble? If Burton discovered me, all would have been for nothing. In that situation, I just had to hope that Alice would come up with something brilliant.
That's not good at all. Lars is stuck and he can't move without being noticed. I have to go in again, but this time I really don't know what excuse I could fabricate. Blowtorch's mugshot gives me the chills. Despite that, sooner or later... No, I don't think so. I already I don't need to go out. Better not leave. They're doing construction work out there and I might make a mess. Alright, the only solution is to find something I can use as leverage to distract Burton.
Now who the hell is... Come in.
It's me again.
Blessed Virgin Mary, what's wrong now?
Well, I just wanted to...
Are you done with those case files we talked about?
I finished everything I have to do, so I was hoping that maybe I could stay here for a bit to watch you work for now. You know, to understand how a great leader behaves during his working time.
Oh, well, if you put it that way, go ahead, but don't disturb me. This Ramos thing is driving me crazy. If we don't close the case soon, the DA will demand my head on a silver platter with a nice apple in my mouth.
Such an absurd situation he's... But above all, what an absurd... I need to focus. I don't think so. It doesn't match what I see. I think I I'm doing it all wrong. I think I'm... Mr. Burton, can I say you look particularly stressed today?
You can say that again, Miss Sharp. This case is really taking its toll on me.
Can I do anything to help you?
Come to think of it, today I didn't have time to buy the Harbinger. I know you're not here for that kind of task, but...
Don't worry. I'll stop by the newsstand and get a copy of the newspaper.
Oh, if the previous assistants were like you, I'd have had fewer headaches.
Fraternize with people and they will provide solutions for you. The newspaper will block part of his view and Lazarus can do whatever he needs to. Better not leave. They're doing... He won't bother me and... I already schooled... I need to... I already schooled... Psst. Are you talking to me?
Yeah. You know, I hear there's a new wizard in Florida. He's going to open a theme park in Orlando.
I usually wouldn't stop for such an approach, but I've always had a passion for theme parks. Seems interesting.
I can send you something to look at, if you leave your email.
Of course, write it down. All lowercase. alicesharp.hpd@gmail.com.
Perfect. I'm Gillis, by the way. Nice to meet you, Alice.
You won't send me anything weird, right?
Trust me, it will be magic.
He made me curious, but... He made me curious. I don't think so. I don't think so. Since I've never spoken to him, it's impossible to draw any conclusions. He must... Good morning!
Please identify yourself and specify the reason for your visit. Thank you.
I'm Alice Sharp, the new intern. I still haven't had the chance to introduce myself to anyone.
Yes. I remember seeing your picture on the resume you sent us.
And you must be Uilo Wee, the attendant for the department. I've heard a lot of things about you.
You heard about me? From who? Where? When?
I just mean I heard the head inspector Burton mentioning you once and...
So you heard my name mentioned once and that was enough to identify me and my role? Is that right? Tell me the truth. Who's paying you to watch us?
Oh, believe me, I'd really like to be paid by someone. Right now, the only things I'm given are cheap insults from the detectives.
You're very suspicious, intern, very suspicious.
Well, I'll leave you to your precious job. Have a good day. Jeez, what a weirdo. No. I don't think so. No. Good morning.
Oh, hello, mademoiselle. Do you need something?
I need to pick up today's newspaper for Chief Inspector Burton.
Bien sûr. It's $2.50. Ma petite.
Oh no, the chief must have forgotten to give me the necessary amount. Could you please put this on the HPD account?
Like your crazy colleague who never pays. Je suis désolé, but I really cannot.
I understand. Thanks anyway. Hello again.
Tell me everything, mademoiselle.
Look, I have the money, but it would take everything I have for lunch. In short, can't you meet me halfway somehow?
Pas de problème. You could help me with my little passion for painting. I'm particularly specialized in female nudes.
Here's the money.
Dommage. I never find any models.
Well, at least I'll keep my figure and my dignity. It cost me. I must take it to Inspector Burton as soon as possible, or Lars might be discovered. Better not. She'd surely ask me for information. They shouldn't leave this. What if a child comes by? Miami's fountains are more. When it comes to drinking water, though, the situation. I have so. No thanks. I need to focus. I don't think so. Here is today's newspaper.
You're an angel, my dear. You'll go far with your sense of initiative.
Brava, the intern. With that move, she partially blocked Burton's line of sight. I could use that to but not from where I was. I could use that, but not. I could use that. Burton would have seen me despite the news. Alice had done what she could. His view was partially blocked. I could use that to. Burton would have seen me despite the newspaper. His view was. His view was. His view was. No matter how. His view was. Maybe. I thought it was. In that moment. Maybe. Sometimes, no matter how. I didn't understand. I was all out of. I thought it was better. His view was. Better think about it. I thought it was better. Burton would have seen me. I thought it was better. A temporary permit to enter the. Was it really? I thought it was. No matter how. I thought it was. I thought it was. I didn't. No matter how hard. Sometimes. Was it really? I thought it was. Sometimes. His view was partially blocked by the newspaper. His view was partially blocked by... I thought it was better. His view was... I thought it was... I thought it... I thought it... Was it really? I was all out of... I was all... Was it... Better I could use that to distract Burton. I would have just one chance to get out of that lousy situation.
Damn call center. They won't leave you in peace even during work.
There. That was my chance.
Seamus Burton's office. Who is this? Answer. Who is this?
Lazarus!
Lars. Lazarus is far too biblical.
Okay, but tell me I didn't unnecessarily risk my career.
All went smooth as silk. Admit it. You doubted my skills.
I still do. The mental ones, at least.
Wait, what?
Explain it to me. If you didn't enter by the main door, how did you sneak into the office?
I challenge the laws of gravity in spite of the danger, sister.
So you'd run such a risk just to pursue a case like any other? You don't fool me, Lazarus Bundy. There's something big going on. And I'm sure it has to do with Catherine Molesberg's kidnapping.
You know the Molesbergs?
I don't think there's anyone in the city that hasn't heard all about it. Anyway, try not to break your neck, please. I feel like you could help me get out of here soon.
Ambitious and endowed with insight. Maybe that girl could really be useful to me, and not just as bait. After all, I really needed help. Now that I had my badge again, I was free to investigate as I wished. I just had to recover Green Dart, and the dance would begin. Hello.
Hi.
We'll catch up.
That's the...
The notes on the bulletin board were mostly focused on possible sighting. Ramos. Ramos. Immortalized from his... It was a welder. There was no sense in cheating. There was no sense. I wouldn't want a car like that, even if... Not to mention that Green Dart could probably go faster than that beater, with less pollution. I still couldn't take the bus. Maybe I could retrieve... Lifting the manhole cover with my bare hands was an under... I was all out of ideas. In that moment... Obviously... Was it really? The tube would have been perfect for leverage, but there were no grooves in the cover. I was all... Maybe. Obviously. Was it really? It provided access to the city sewer. Many tourists left. My colleague was... Hello.
Hi.
We'll catch up later.
Keep me posted.
I have my badge now. Hello, good.
What?
I'll go and.
I hope.
I thought it was better. I couldn't drill him. Sometimes. No matter how. Sometimes. I was. Maybe. No matter how. Sometimes. The idea wasn't. It would only get me a pair of stigmata that way. No matter how. I did. Maybe. Was. I didn't. I couldn't drill. No matter how. It was a welder. The window was made with. No matter how. I thought it was. The notes on the bulletin. Ramos, immortalized. Was already broken. Was already broken down all. Was already. A Korean piece of junk. I prefer the car of the illegal Parker. Was already. I've had enough of his. Was already broken down. A Korean piece of junk. I prefer the. Was already broke. Was already broken down. I was all out. The tube would have been perfect. I didn't. In that moment, I thought it was. Obviously, in that I thought it was. No matter how. Maybe it was green dart at the moment. Maybe. I was all out of idea. I didn't understand. In that moment. Was it just having to talk? Besides, anti-interception. I no longer need. I wondered what my mother. Anyway, I didn't need to call out. I was all. By doing that, maybe in the end. I thought it was. I was all out. With a thinner. I thought it was. was green dark at the moment. I've had enough of his... I thought it was bad. Bullets in love. The classic predictable... Продвигай. I had nothing else to ask him. I had nothing else to ask. I had nothing else to ask. I had nothing else. Putting it in my pocket was out of the question if needed. I had nothing else. Was it really worth it? A portable drill. I knew all about such things. Instructions in Swedish meant that it took 2 days to assemble everything.
Better think about it.
I don't know what prompted me to... Yes, I perforated the magnet exactly in the center. Hello, good.
What?
I'll go enjoy.
I hope it's...
I really like the idea. I could combine its magnetic potential with the tube's length and strength, resulting in a diabolical device. I realized, though, that the magnet pull would not be enough to keep the two pieces firmly joined together. In that moment, maybe. I thought it was. Maybe. I didn't. Maybe. Hello, good.
What?
I'll go and.
I hope...
I need your incredible ability with. You see this pole?
I see it. And you can stick that right where the sun doesn't shine. If you really want to bother someone on the work site, try that drunkard near the newsstand. He really loves killing time with bores. Not that wasting time is really a problem with those horrible walls he raises up.
Rude and mean. But I could sense some resentment towards the Mason. Maybe I could exploit that to my... Hello. The blacksmith was right. It looks perfect. But upon closer inspection, the flaws really stand out.
You aren't talking about my newly stuccoed wall, are you?
Oh, not me. The blacksmith working on the upper floor.
How could that jerk dare to criticize me? You know what I say in return?
I'm all ears.
That beard that he proudly parades around is dyed. Just a meager counterfeit.
Oh, that's a low blow.
Yes, and now it's high time all the world knows it, once and for all. There we are. I hope this will teach him to shut that...
It's a real piece of art, in my humble opinion. I think the blacksmith would really like that. The Masons' writing had attracted a crowd down on the street. Lucky for them, because soon, an unforgettable show was about to start. Hello, good man.
What?
I think there's something you need to see as soon as possible.
What are you talking about?
Here you go. The atomic bomb. I really don't have the heart to tell you. You'd better look for yourself. It's down the street. The whole world fell silent. The birds stopped singing. Everything stood still.
Holy Mother! This beard is sacred. A Shaolin monk taught me to groom it while I was at a spiritual retreat. Since then, I've looked after it every day of my life, like a perfect bonsai.
That writing on the ground says the exact opposite.
This offense will be repaid in blood.
Pablo! Hey, bon!
So I was left with my last cigarette. The one for emergency only. Yeah, emergency. Yet I'd find myself lighting that same cigarette only a few hours later. Now that the blacksmith wasn't around anymore, I could use his welder. Now the magnet wouldn't fall off the tube so easily. With the tool I'd ingeniously fabricated, I would be certainly able to lift the manhole cover.
You already found a new job, I see.
Actually, I...
What? Ah! Get out of here, filthy rat.
Look what you've done! You made Spubby run away, and now it will take me all day to find him again!
Spubby? You mean you have a sewer rat for a pet? And you put a collar on him? Besides which, what are you doing in the sewers?
I live in the sewers. Not exactly in this area, though. Now, I'm on the hunt for lost technology.
Lost technology?
People throw away lots of good stuff in the sewers. Radios, old phones, even TVs. I gather and collect everything. I bet you're one of them. You feel so superior, you guys from up there.
Get over yourself, kid, or I'll take a swim and pull you by the ear.
I'd like to see that.
I'm Lars. What's your name, young bully?
I am M.
M? Do you work for the MI6 or the Men in Black?
I chose the name myself, okay? M.R.
Well, M, I need to retrieve those keys over there. I can't say it was a pleasure to meet you.
Not that I care, but careful of the current. There's an undertow in that spot.
I'm more afraid of your rat, to tell the truth. I had a bad experience once, and I still haven't gotten over it. Keep it away from me, okay? Those planks seem solid despite the moisture. I use one to reach the key. I could have unbolted one of those with the tube, but not from where I was. Hey there, kid.
What do you want?
Tell me more about your childhood, thug.
I don't tell my business to the first surfacer that comes down here.
Do you mean superficial?
No, I meant surfacer. That is, a surface inhabitant.
Come on, open up a bit and share.
What a pain in the neck. When we were babies, my parents let me and my 3 brothers drop down a gutter. Then the rat you saw initiated us in the ninja arts. Since then, we've protected this filthy city.
Let me guess. M stands for Michelangelo, right?
Exactly.
Let's try again. How'd you end up living young?
I was born deformed. And for that reason, I was put in a basket by my mother and abandoned on the Miami River.
Well, now that you're admitting your deformity, I can finally say out loud that you have—
Hey, that's not true.
Come on.
They're great animals, you know.
Listen, rascal, I need a little contribution in terms of physical effort. Take this metal tube and use it to pull down one of those boards.
This is child labor.
But I intend to reward you properly.
Then it's moonlighting.
Come on. Do you want a deal or not?
It depends. What are you offering?
Well, I don't know. Wouldn't money alone be enough?
To use it, I'd have to leave the sewers. And I really don't want that. Find something that I might like, and we'll talk about it.
Little opportunist. Hey there, kid.
What do you want?
For the last time, tell me the truth about your past.
To protect me from my father, a big guy with asthma who always wore black, I was raised by my uncles. The only bond I have with my parents is a scar on my forehead, inflicted as a newborn during a terrible struggle in which my mother was killed.
This time you got it a little mixed up. Have you got a twin sister, perhaps?
I'm not sure. I just know that my best friend stole the only girl around.
There you go. There was a common element in the kid's tales. Being abandoned after he was born. Smell you later. About our deal, what do you think of a nearly brand new original pony remote control?
Wow! It's one of those you can control any pony device on the market with. I haven't seen one of those in years. Give me that tube. I'll take care of it.
Good job, young scoundrel. Now give me the tube back. Come on.
No way! If I trade it to the junk dealer, I'll earn enough to buy a nice stuffed sandwich.
A universal pony remote control and a wonderful iron tube in exchange for a nearly rotten board. I got screwed over by a mutant youngster living in the sewers. On the other hand, Green Dart, I'm coming to the rescue. Thanks to a still hand, and now I can freely explore Miami high and... was already broken. Hello.
Hi.
We'll catch up later.
Keep me posted.